Hey, boys and girls, welcome to another movie podcast, Funhaus. I'm joined by Bruce, James, and looks like Elise. Where's your bag of popcorn?
I ate it all already.
Oh, well.
You had a bag of popcorn last time?
It felt fitting for the movie podcast,
Yeah.
but then I ate the whole thing.
Gotta time those out better.
Yeah.
Kind of kills the mood. Anyway. Hey guys, Adam here, and welcome to my happy place. I just wanted to remind you that this episode is sponsored and brought to you by Mac Weldon, and they're offering 20% off through this show, so stay tuned for more info on that. Let's go back to the real world. We're talking about all sorts of stuff today, but first, Bruce, myself, and Lawrence all saw John Wick 2.
That's
So
true.
let's go to Lawrence for his review.
Lawrence is out sick.
Yeah, he is.
That's great. Bruce, what are your thoughts?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts about John Wick 2.
Wait, before we get too far, I want to
You
give
have
you
to set it up.
I wanna
You
give
have
you
to
the
say who's
stats.
in it,
I know.
directed by whom,
Oh.
and the studio, and then you
Not
have to
really.
give a brief summary. Like, since have you ever watched a movie show before?
Yeah, I don't want to be like them. So I just want to talk about
Successful.
how the production cost went. Production budget for John Wick 2, unknown.
What?
Yeah, they don't know.
Oh.
First movie cost $20 million, if that gives you an indication.
This one, I was probably in the neighborhood of like 30 to 40.
Probably a little bit more, yeah.
Was it China money? Is that why?
I don't know. I don't know if China was
It might
involved.
have China money. Yeah, that's a good
It
question.
have Roman money. I don't know. Domestically, it made $37.8 million. Foreign, only 11.
That was the first movie, right?
No, this is second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so currently it has $50 million at the box office. We don't know how much it costs, so we're not sure if John Wick 2 is a success or
I
not.
think it's fine.
I've seen $40 million.
But let's go to the critics, because it's actually doing really well on Rotten Tomatoes. First critic, Bruce, what did you think about John Wick 2?
So John Wick 2 I liked. I was able to see why Lawrence loved it. Because Lawrence was raving about it, although I'm sure he has some problems with it, but it was pretty slow
Okay.
for the first hour.
All right. Okay.
Whereas I thought the first John Wick kind of like it was an interesting story and it felt real to me. It felt like a real action movie. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it was kind of things that anybody could identify with, even though he's like a badass hitman. And John Wick 2 felt a little more removed. The sets and the I guess the actors and all the opulence that surrounds his world felt a little more crazy.
Well, we're looking at the trailer here, and he seems to be jet setting.
Yeah.
Seems
Yeah.
to be expensive cars and in the Vatican City and
Right.
exotic locales.
I can give you a quick overview, James, of
Ian
the story.
McShane.
Yeah, well, Ian McShane was in the first one. I'll say this actually. If you're going to see the movie, if you're on the fence, I'll just say go see it. 'Cause
It's totally
good.
worth it. Yeah, totally worth seeing.
I would highly recommend you watch the first movie and then go right into the second. It's almost like it's almost like just one long movie at that point. They play off each other perfectly. Like I think it's the best way you can do a sequel of a movie this style. Just because it does this really cool thing where I know James, we were talking about this where in John Wick 1 they give you a taste of that weird underbelly, that weird world.
They give you a lot more. In
And the second one, it expands more, and then the action's good, but you're still asking these questions about like, what is this secret society? What is it? And it leaves you wanting more, which I thought did a really good job. And it's just so story-wise. Sorry to get back on track. It picks up like immediately after the first movie. John's trying to get his car back now. After taking revenge out,
They took his car?
because they took they killed his dog and they took his
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's getting his car back, and then from there, it is revealed on his trailers. I don't want to watch this.
It's a lot like Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, where
Exactly.
like the movie's just back to back. It was like
Yeah.
basically picking
or
up.
Weekend at Bernie's 1 and Weekend at Bernie's 2.
Yes,
Very close,
Just,
yeah.
just like that.
But now that John Wick is on everyone's radar, all the entire mob, a old friend comes back and says, "Well, you owe me. You did a blood oath,
Yeah.
and you can't break this." And so he is forced to do a job that he really doesn't want to do. But it's because of that secret society. It's basically do this or be cast out or be killed. And from there, it all spirals out of control.
There are a lot of stereotypes. There are just a lot of things that I thought was like, okay, yeah, I've seen that 100 times. The assassin that wants to get out type of thing. And that's why I wasn't as interested in this one as I was in the last one. And I thought the first one felt like they were revealing just enough, whereas this one was giving you more of the story. And I was like, oh, right, of course.
Yeah.
There is some shadowy conspiracy organization that blah, 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 blah. Right. So, and it's a trope. I get it. Still cool. But it was just sort of expected.
How similar is this to the formula of the first movie? Because to me, I don't know why, the vibe that I have gotten through the press tour of John Wick 2 is a very like Raid and Raid 2
Yes,
vibe.
that's a that was
Where
I got
like
that
those
vibe.
are two fundamentally different movies.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
So is this still somewhat similar to the formula of the first one, or is it just like a whole other turns
like
on its
where
head?
where Raid went from pure action to let's hammer a bunch of story on you.
Yeah.
John Wick does that at about maybe 50%. Like
Okay.
they give you a little bit more, but it's infinitely more watchable than
It is.
the Raid 2.
Yeah, Raid 2 is just like a whole. He wanted to make a different movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like that's a good comparison. The Raid is what I was thinking of when I watched this and the first one.
Well, like this scene we're watching right here, this is kind of cool. This is all before his like hit that he has to do, and all the stuff he's going to do. Like right now he's at a tailor, and they're building Kevlar into the suit,
Which is cool.
It was a lot of cool little things, and then he goes to who's that guy who does the voice of Darth Maul?
Peter Serafinowicz.
Son of us. He goes to him, and he's like a tastemaker.
He's a sommelier,
Yeah,
but he has guns. I'm
And-
sorry
and-
we're spoiling the movie for you, by the way. I feel
sorry.
bad.
Yeah,
It's too
I'm
late
just saying
now.
there's a lot of these little bits that are just like, I mean, it's all in the trailer and stuff, but I like those moments, and it was all a big build up to an action scene that I really like. That they set it up in a way, and they show you the setup of what the action scene is going to be, and then when it all comes down, you go, oh yeah, that's right, he put a gun there, and that's why it makes sense that he can pick up an AR-15.
Yeah.
because they showed him pick it out, they showed him why he likes the gun, and then they showed him hide it earlier. So it's almost like a video game in that way that I like it.
They did a good, no, they did a good job of making it feel practical and real, which I liked about the first John Wick. Again, though, there are still parts of this movie. I actually thought the sommelier part and like the Kevlar into the suit part was, to me, I was just like kind of sighing through it because I was like, yeah, I know exactly what they're doing. I know where they're going. It's very predictable in that sense, but that doesn't make the action not badass at the end of the movie.
It's like he's
So-
Home Aloneing.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of
I'm
like
prepping everything.
Except that Home Alone had creative traps, and I knew with John Wick 2, I was like, right, I understand. He's not going to die. He needs these badass guns. I understand. Like it was sort of like a, okay, all right, get to it.
But they still do the cool thing where they show that he's very much human. He like, I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He obviously it's a movie, so he's not going to die.
No, right, but
like,
you're right, yeah.
a certain
I
hits,
don't
but, like,
know. A movie like John Wick I don't think adheres to the standard that the lead may not die.
That's honestly, I was like, well, maybe he will.
That was kind of like part of the driving force of the action in the first movie, is that he was kind of like, I'm okay with dying as long as I take everyone who's pissed me off with me along the way.
Well, there's a part where he's wearing like that Kevlar suit, and someone puts a gun like into his stomach and fires, and so he's bleeding right here, like kind of like it was in the first
hurt.
movie. And then like he gets stitched up at one point, but then later in the movie, you'll see like blood coming out of that spot. And I'm like, I love that attention to detail, and how that is like these movies are like masters of continuity.
They are,
which
yeah.
is always makes me so happy. Where I'm like, there's a lot of attention to detail.
You know what? Here's some continuity generally is easiest when it's one creative vision throughout. And is this the same writer director for the first one?
Same team, and
So
one of those guys actually going off to make Deadpool 2.
this is what happens when you have that same team. The continuity things and the screw ups, and that doesn't make any sense. Those happen when someone gets the script, but they only get page 35 through 62 to work on. And so they work on those things, and they're changing stuff, not realizing that he planted a gun in page 15. When you keep track of everything, it's really easy to do.
Absolutely, you're right, and it shows in this movie.
Yeah.
That, like I said, that was the thing that I thought was great about this movie was that the last, I want to say 30 minutes make the price of admission totally worth it. There's this really cool. They keep showing that just the very, very beginning. Of the scene.
I really want to see the making of that
I have no
scene.
idea how they did it. No idea. They shot it. They shot it in an art exhibit, but it's basically a Funhaus mirrors place.
Oh, that's cool.
And like, I feel like they put all the cameramen in green screens, because you don't. I was looking for cameramen in these shots, didn't see one.
There's a lot of shots where, like, you imagine if you were like making that movie, you'd see that room and go, oh fuck no,
Yeah.
I wouldn't shoot here in a million years. There's mirrors everywhere, and they shoot action in there, and I don't know. It's all just very impressive.
But again, it was a trope though. That's the Funhouse trope that everybody, like you go into a house of mirrors and you have to find the bad guy. Yeah. That is a trope, but they kind of turned it on its head and made it an art exhibit, which I thought was still a little more imaginative and creative. So
Probably better fitting with the setting.
it absolutely was.
John Wick's in a funhouse.
No,
How did he get there?
right.
He was in
It's not,
Rome.
it's not really a fun house.
No, I know.
Well, no,
what you mean.
but I mean, basically, you walk
Yeah.
in and there's a bunch of mirrors, and I knew immediately what it was. But at the same time, it was an art exhibit that I thought was, it felt a little more real than like going into a house of mirrors or something.
Either way, great movie. I I loved it. I don't know. I almost liked it more than the first one in some ways. I think it's one of those sequels where I mean, it's just fresh in my head, so I'm still like really excited about it. But it's one of those movies like Terminator 1, Terminator 2, where the sequel and the first movie complement each other really well. And I'm like, those are rare movies.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really liked it. I love it. I highly recommend it.
It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. It's worth seeing in the theaters for sure.
All right, and as
I think
always,
we'll
we give movies.
get to it this weekend.
I would love for it.
It's good.
Before you guys go see it, though, Lisa, can you give me a score for the movie, please?
Probably maybe 3 shelter dogs out of 4. Because
nice.
I hope he adopts.
That's a
I hope he,
good-
I hope he doesn't buy.
Spoiler alert: there is a dog in the movie.
I know.
They showed it. Yeah, they showed it walking
and
around.
he does. The dog doesn't die.
Okay.
Oh, that's the spoiler.
Doesn't die.
I guess some stats for John Wick 1. That movie had a domestic gross of $43 million, production of $20 million, worldwide $88 million. I didn't think it was going to get a sequel. It's not really
That's not a
crazy
huge,
high numbers.
huge return.
I was talking briefly with Omar about this, and it was one of the things he said that went against the movie, and I agree with him on it, is I think for most of us, correct me if I'm wrong, if you saw John Wick 1, you weren't expecting anything. You were like, you had a friend who just said, oh yeah, I should check it out. It's a pretty good movie. And you watch it and went, holy shit.
Yeah, it's cool.
This action's really good. This the plot doesn't make me cringe. Like, it's pretty damn good. The second movie, I'm doing a bad job because I'm hyping it up. The problem is it's going to have hype attached to it, or you're expecting something. But as a fan of the other movie and re-watching it right before this, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So
Very good movies.
go see it if you
Also,
like action
a little
movies.
bit of trivia for you.
I got trivia.
It has the I was trivia for. It's related to us. 8711 did all the stunts for this movie, and John Wick, I believe, the first one as well. And we did a Jason Statham ETC integration with 8711, where Kale had to fight through a bunch of stunts, and those guys are the real deal. 8711 are fucking awesome.
Cool.
And they like taught us some stunts and stuff. It was really neat. Yeah.
Cool.
What'd they teach you?
They taught us like some wall runs and like basically how you would do like a somersault and stuff like that. It's really fucking hard, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Just for all you fans out there, there's not a lot of good trivia right now for John Wick 2. I read it all twice. Not very good. But I'll give you some John Wick 1 trivia. Although this is the first time that Keanu Reeves and Willem Dafoe have acted together on film, both were in the Speed franchise. Reeves was in Speed from 1994, and Dafoe was in Speed 2 Cruise Control from 1997. 66 out of 112 people found this interesting.
How do they, what's the second number come from?
out of 112, I guess maybe they gave thumbs downs.
No, that doesn't,
Well,
that wouldn't be out of.
Those are the amount of people who chose to vote on the IMDb trivia.
But there could be
yeah.
thousands of people that read it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I feel like there are 66 thumbs
Only
up,
that voted.
and then
Yeah.
112, or then there are 55 thumbs down.
Yeah.
And they combine the two.
So of those participating
Yeah.
in a survey over this trivia,
Optional survey.
these people didn't think it was shit.
Well, as if
It's the correct answer, not of those found it interesting. You can find it interesting and just not feel like you have to participate in an
Well,
IMDb
no, but yeah, we're
survey.
just saying by the numbers here.
It's a bad number. It's bad stats.
Before we move on to some industry news, I will give you one last piece of info.
I love trivia.
Until the show gets a little slow, and then we had some more. Keanu Reeves' character is a dog lover in the film John Wick.
what a surprise.
Reeves played a deformed character called Ortiz, the dog boy, in the movie Freaked from 1993.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
Ortiz was a mutant character crossed between a human and a dog.
Do you think that's why he named his band Dog Star?
11 out of 53 people found this interesting.
That would be a good bit of trivia.
Actually, your trivia is better.
I know.
That's actually useful for something.
Have Dogstar and 30 Seconds to Mars ever toured together?
No, they're too busy with 30 odd foot of grunt.
What's that?
30 odd.
Is that Hugh Laurie?
No,
it's
that's Russell Crowe.
Oh,
Russell
Russell
Crowe.
Crowe.
There's a lot of trivia towards the end. This is all the spoiler stuff. This
That's
is
okay.
This is just trash. John Wick kills 77 people.
In
That's
John Wick 2
spoiler.
or John Wick?
John Wick 1.
In Freaked?
Now I'm going to be
Followed-
counting.
Followed by the other trivia, body count, 119. Followed by another bit of trivia. According to the cast interview, both producer Basil, this guy, and Keanu Reeves referenced the number 84 as being the total number of kills by John Wick.
So they're wrong.
They're
So
both
that other
wrong.
bit of
They're
trivia.
It all just sort of fights with itself there.
One thing I didn't know is it says John Wick is intended to be a trilogy, which
Makes
I didn't.
total sense.
I had no idea, and now it makes a lot more sense.
Now it actually feels like that. Okay, we're done with that. Hey guys, and welcome back to my happy place, that thing we talked about earlier. And like earlier, let's talk about how this episode of Funhaus is brought to you by Mack Weldon, which I guarantee is better than whatever you are wearing right now. Mack Weldon clothing is simple to shop for and made of premium antimicrobial materials, like in their silver line, which means no bad odors for you or those around you. Right, Jacob?
What am I doing here?
Get out! They want you to be comfortable. They are comfortable, by far the most comfy underwear I have ever owned. So if you don't like your first pair, you can keep it and they will still refund you, no questions asked. Mack Weldon is better than whatever you are wearing right now, so go to mackweldon.com and get 20% off using promo code FILMHOUSE. Back to the show. Okay, you want to move on to some industry stuff?
Sure.
Always.
As always, we talk about Batman.
Oh no.
Here, got some
This
updates.
is it's doomed.
Well, here,
The
I got
Batman report.
I have a whole list of things.
Or the fart.
I have a whole list of things we can talk about. I want to do a whole Warner Brother versus Disney, DC versus Marvel bit. That's always fun. Just to talk about who's doing it better, who's doing it worse. Okay, hold on. Because there's a new Avengers video out.
I don't even listen.
There's a new Thor
I'm getting
video.
tired of the Marvel fucking cinematic universe, and they are still batting 1,000 compared to DC.
Blowing DC out of the water.
We have more sad Batman news. I totally forgot that Justice League is actually coming out this year.
It is?
No, when?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Holy shit, it is.
Supposed to.
This summer.
Yeah. Is it summer? I don't know.
Or
The same
maybe-
thing
and then,
happened with Batman v Superman, though, where I was like,
Yeah, that's true.
"Isn't this now? Now?"
Is Aquaman first or Justice League? Or
Justice
Wonder
League.
Woman.
Wonder
Oh,
Woman.
They're not
Jesus Christ,
setting-
there are so many movies.
They're not setting
no.
anything up. Are you kidding me?
Oh.
No, they're not going to give you anything. They're just going to say, "Eat Justice League, enjoy it."
Justice
followed-
That's in the poster.
Followed by the last news story that Mel Gibson is rumored to direct Suicide Squad 2.
I'm looking
like
forward
that.
to that.
That's the
Sure,
only
yeah.
way you'll get me in that fucking theater.
Yeah, I'm
That's
looking
the
forward to
only
that.
goddamn way.
Well, because I just saw. I don't think anybody saw this in the room except for me. Hacksaw Ridge.
Haven't seen it yet.
Hacksaw Ridge is very good. It's a good movie.
all of
we-
his movies are really good.
I know.
We looked at it the other night, but then
It's cool.
didn't do it.
I just wasn't in the mood for like a war.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a heavy war movie that like a lot of people die, but it's really cool. It's
Are you saying Mel's back?
Mel's always been
He
back.
never left,
Yeah, he
man.
never left. He has always been a great filmmaker. Always. I mean, like this just.
Think about this. Think about Mel Gibson. He was like, I want to make a movie, and then made Braveheart.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like I want to make a movie.
He's got to keep making movies because he's got like Kid 19 on the way or something.
Yeah, he's got to. He just got to wear a condom or something though.
This is
Permanent
the, this is the article I found from
trim it.
IO9. It has a little bit of an op-ed.
Wow.
He's
Yeah.
doing-
Jeez.
Yeah.
Stick to the journalistic
I
integrity
don't know
there.
why that would be a bad decision.
Well, because
As opposed to who?
because he's
Well-
an anti-Semite or he's
well,
an
here's the thing.
asshole or whatever.
sure.
So, yeah, they reported saw Mel Gibson, the guy who's gone anti-Semitic rants and said he wanted his ex-girlfriend to get gang raped as the person like to direct Suicide Squad. That doesn't really speak to any of his directing talents, but let's continue
true.
reading.
Well, but also Suicide Squad is shit too. Suicide Squad contains literally like domestic abuse
Yeah,
in
no,
it.
I know. It absolutely.
So he
does.
would be the perfect candidate.
I mean, I don't pay for Roman Polanski or Woody Allen movies out of principle.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't pay for Jared Leto movies out of principle.
So it says, sure, Gibson is on the uptick of following the success of Hacksaw Ridge, which has several Oscar nominations.
It's a good
Which
movie.
he shouldn't get.
No, it's a
including
good movie.
Best Picture and Best Director.
Yeah.
But of all his recent success follows a string of incidents, including
that's a
drunk
hot link
driving,
there.
Drunk drive. Every fucking celebrity in the world drunk drives. And I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that's what they do.
which nearly killed his career. And just over a decade ago, among many things, Gibson was accused of using the N-word, mocking homosexuals, calling female police officers sugar tits, and claiming that
One of my
Jewish people are
favorite insults,
secretly.
by the way.
I'm just saying, it was just funny when I read this article because I'm like, this is all makes for a shitty human being. But what stands out is the Oscar nominations from a movie that he just made. I'm like,
Well, and if his own
probably a guy you do want to
Hey,
make Suicide Squad.
It sucks,
too.
but welcome to the year 2017, where the president of the United States admitted to sexual assault and then got elected.
Yeah, no, I know. If his own community's accepting him, like the Oscar nominations, then like give the guy a chance. Fuck.
I just also, it's not like he's fucking directing some sort of female empowerment shit. Suicide Squad sucked.
I mean, like what women want.
I'm just saying, like,
Did he
yeah,
direct
he's
that? I think he was just in it.
No, he was just in it. I don't think he
he's
directed
like
it.
probably it would be a stupid decision to be like, we want to get him to do this thing, and it's about the women's
Right,
like the
right.
woman's
The SJW
journey,
movie, yeah.
like her fight and stuff like that. Oh, that's stupid. What insight would he possibly have to that? He's clearly has misogynistic tendencies or whatever. But like,
It's such a can of worms, the whole glorifying and celebrating people in the entertainment industry who have been accused or charged with things.
Yeah.
Casey Affleck and his whole thing
Right.
recently where he's had two female producers both take him to court
Yeah.
over the way he's if you've ever read the claims against him, they're pretty terrible of like women waking up with him in their bed, like married female producers, and him just totally like treating them terribly. But you know, he's still getting Oscar. I don't know. It's a whole.
Regardless,
it's a whole
you might like this line here. I don't care if his work is good. That doesn't negate years of abusive and intolerant behavior.
I mean, apparently it does with his community.
I hate to break it to you, this is a pretty abusive and intolerant article.
But then again, this is an industry where Casey Affleck's nominated for Best Actor.
There it is.
And Woody Allen continue to get work. And Jared Leto is allowed to send his co-stars a dead pig.
Well, who cares? That's cool.
He killed a pig.
A lot of the comments were like,
pigs are killed every day.
Yeah, I know. That's what Mel Gibson was shouting about, trying to kill that pig.
It's like such a weird thing, and like I don't know.
Sorry, I
go
to IO9 for sci-fi news and I saw that. I was like, wow, this
I'm not strong enough
there's
to
an
make
agenda
the ethical
here.
decision to avoid media.
Well, I mean, like, Tom Cruise is motherfucking crazy. He's fucking crazy, and he's like really, honestly, a really good actor. He picks really good projects.
Well, that's another thing that I guess gets overlooked is that at what point do you disconnect the personal life of someone and their film career? Because when they're in a movie, they're playing make believe. They're acting. That's literally what they're doing.
Yeah.
You're not watching the life of Tom Cruise or the life of Mel Gibson. You're just watching a body of work. I guess I don't know.
Well, for me, I drew the line at that guy that forced that rape on set.
Sure,
like I was like, all right, well, not that I would ever see his movies anyways, but at that point,
Who was that guy?
He directed the Last Tango in Paris.
Oh, that's like a story from like the 70s that came out recently.
Yeah, and I was like, got it. All right, so this guy's a shithead.
Yeah.
And like, I choose not to support him.
Yeah.
You know, like, who knows? Other people might give him work.
Yeah.
But I choose not to support him.
It was like when my mom took me to see Powder as a child. We wanted to see the movie, but we didn't want to support the director because he was a pederast.
Right.
So we paid for the Scarlet Letter instead. You're welcome.
Yeah.
What's her
Demi
face?
Moore.
No, the other one. Stranger Things.
Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder. Okay.
I don't know. I never saw it.
I just stopped
Pretty sure
kind
it's
of
Demi Moore.
paying for those the movies. I don't know. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. It's like it's one of those things where you're gonna be like, well, maybe there was a grip on this film that beat his kids. Am I not gonna watch this? I think we lose track of the fact that like. That the entertainment industry is fucking bananas. That people get paid that much for fucking playing pretend.
Yeah.
It's insane to begin with. So I don't know. It's a whole other
Yeah,
you know,
that's a whole
whatever.
big beast. Can we just talk? I just love that they're drawing the line at Suicide Squad. They're not going to ruin my Suicide Squad too. It's like, jeez.
I felt like the article that we were checking out had more to do with the fact that this person had an axe to grind against Mel Gibson.
Yeah, that's what's weird.
Obviously.
That's what's funny to me about it. Like for me, if you don't like the guy, that's a great punishment. Now you have to work on this piece of shit.
Right.
Right? That's gonna be the next 9 months of your life. There you go. We couldn't send you to jail for the shit that you said and stuff like that, so you have to work on Suicide Squad 2. Enjoy.
Well, we're getting to the last 10 minutes or so here of the story, so I guess we'll just get into the an update on the Batman story.
How much further can he glide to the ground?
Well, word is Ben Affleck wants to just get out.
Yep.
He doesn't want to do it anymore.
He doesn't want to be Batman anymore.
So this is from an article I pulled from somewhere. I guess it's citing Collider Movie Talk. Ben Affleck wants out of the role badly. This is saying, I've talked to 3 separate people, both in no way or another connected in some way to what's going on Warner Brothers. What all 3 have told me was that nothing about whether the script was thrown out or whether they liked the script, nothing about the direction Matt Reeves is taking it, none of that. But one of the things that has come out of the conversation with all 3 is this. They're telling me that Ben Affleck, make no mistake, he does want out. He doesn't want to be the Batman anymore, is what I was told.
Can you imagine he walks up and goes, guys, I don't want to be in your movies anymore. I don't want to be Batman.
There were 3 good things about the DC universe. Henry Cavill was a kind of cool Superman. Yeah. Ben Affleck was a great Batman.
I would agree.
And the soundtrack for Wonder Woman's theme song.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah.
Those are the 3 things they had going for them. And now they're going to get rid of one.
I, for one, can't help but think that maybe the Scarecrow has something to do with this.
Oh, man.
Do you think Ben Affleck's being bullied?
Maybe.
No, I think he
probably
faced the same resistance from the studio and issues, or he was too busy getting back tattoos to actually work on his script.
I feel like it's funny. I think you're right, Elise. I think there's a combination of that, but also I feel like he's been seeing the reception to the movies and also seeing the other movies come out, like Suicide Squad and stuff, and he's probably like backing away slowly. Like, I'm
don't
not
like
gonna
any
take
of this.
part
I don't
in
Don't
any
like
of
any of
this.
this.
And because I don't know. If I were him, I was thinking about it. If I were him and I was Batman and I was tasked to write and direct that movie and not get any pushback from the studios, I'd be like, yeah, fuck it. I can make a good movie.
Yeah.
But if you've got people pushing on you,
Yep.
being like, no, do this. And Ben Affleck's like, I know good movies. Like Argo, The Town, I know good movies.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you constantly telling me
Yeah.
to do something different when I know that's wrong?
Yeah, yeah.
Eventually I'd be like, no more
Yeah,
Batman. I don't want to do Batman.
he's been given some directive to do something specific so they can tie it in with another part of the franchise.
Like
and
the stupid cyborg footage.
I don't know, or maybe he's just got personal shit going on in his life that he can't take on that kind of project. Who knows?
It is personal shit. It's called he's tired of working with these fucking idiots.
Maybe Kevin Smith needs a favor.
Who do we think is going to be the new Batman?
New Batman?
Yeah, who do we think? We get to go through this old,
They have to be
this
old.
old shabazz again.
I don't
Old
think
Batman.
I think he'll do at least one more movie.
Well, the word is after. Well, he's doing Justice League. They already shot
Justice
this.
League. This is done.
They already have him.
So what's his contract for? Is it 4 movies or 3 or
I don't know.
6? Because he's done 2. He's done 2 now. Mm-hmm. And then so if he's
And then the third
Batman,
one is supposed to be
Yeah.
Batman. Well, he also showed up in Suicide
Oh, he started
Squad.
up Suicide Squad. That's 4.
He just checked it off.
This is
his
what he's
list.
doing. He's checking the list.
Yeah,
he's at
yeah.
home like, oh, I almost got it.
He's going to show up in Transformers. It's going to be
all,
just in things.
I'm Batman.
Well,
Bye.
it's, it's still going to be an old Batman, so they're going to have to find another dude in Hollywood that's like over 45 and
this
can hack
franchise,
it.
this franchise that they're building doesn't have legs.
No, it doesn't.
They're gonna start that whole thing over. We're gonna be started over with a new Superman and a new Batman.
You're absolutely
in like
right.
fucking 4 years.
you're totally
4
right.
years. We're gonna start hearing about how they're recasting everyone because this does not have legs. They're just gonna shit out the Flash. That movie's gonna come out like a Flash, right? Because they're gonna be like, we're done.
Yeah.
Like we see there's gonna be a line graph with Batman v Superman, and it's just gonna be going like this, plunging straight into the earth.
It blows my mind because so we're watching this footage, and then recently, Marvel put out this new Avengers movie that they're filming, Infinity War.
Yeah, they just started filming.
And I mean, all it is an announcement that, hey, get your dick hard.
Yeah, we're on set.
Like we know we teased this thing back in 2012. This evil purple guy named Thanos.
Yeah. Josh
whatever.
Brolin filmed his scenes 8 years ago.
And they're like, it's finally coming to this moment, and like, and they make it look so easy.
They really do, but it's not.
It's not
been
at all.
years and years and years. And honestly, like, there's been one dude in charge of it, Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
And he's been like, no, we're not going to do it that way. Yeah, and he's probably had to say no 100,000 times and say yes 100,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always like I feel like it's him and probably 2 other dudes that all have it in their heads, which is fucking awesome. And then DC is just shitting the bed. Every single movie, they're shitting the bed. It's
On a
crazy.
subject of lack of enthusiasm or waning enthusiasm, watching this featurette, Robert Downey Jr. is just, you can tell he's like
tired.
so fucking over it.
Yeah, no,
he's
he's
so
tired.
wants out. And then the Spider-Man kid, he's like, I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't believe
Which
the
is
movie
cool.
exists.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's funny.
But I mean, how many times has Robert Downey Jr. played
Iron Man?
Iron Man
Oh,
now?
too many.
32?
6 or 7?
A lot
In
of
the
times.
last 10 years?
A lot of
And-
times.
Okay, like, he's allowed to be tired of it. He's
Yeah.
also a billionaire now because of
He
these
gets paid
movies.
$75 million of like a picture now.
think he
has
the
he said
taste.
what his last picture, if it's this?
It's something ridiculous.
It's
Well,
like
his
what his
contract-
contract has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep modifying it and giving him
More money.
They keep basically adding a 0 to the end. This is gonna be. This is gonna. This is a request for the Filmhouse community. I want a Photoshop of Ben Affleck sitting in a folding chair with a tiny CRT TV, watching everyone look like they're having a great time on set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, man. I feel so bad for him. I feel so bad for Ben Affleck. He's so
I do
talented.
too.
No, for
He's
sure.
gonna bounce back.
Oh, no,
I
he
feel
always-
bad
yeah,
for
yeah.
Henry Cavill, who
Yeah,
is
that's true.
excellently cast as Superman. Has done a really good job with what he's been given thus far. That's it. That's the only person I feel bad for.
Jason Momoa?
I don't know what he's done besides Game of Thrones.
He did
so
the
Yeah.
Conan.
I didn't see it.
Which was bad.
Apparently, it was bad. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it.
Oh, that's right. You saw it.
And then we watched some other trailer and Lisa's trailer.
The Bad Batch.
The new show. Yeah, Bad Batch, which I don't know what the fuck that's about.
Well,
Yeah.
he also has this show on Netflix that's Canadian made that apparently isn't very good either.
Oh, boy.
I mean, like,
I mean, he's a young
He'll be fine.
young
That'd be fine.
supermodel, like who basically got introduced to the world by not having to say or do anything.
yeah.
I love that clip where some reporters like, are you preparing for Aquaman? Do you know how to swim? And he's like, I'm from Hawaii, bruh. Like,
Bruh.
I mean,
shotgun.
I'm just saying, looking at this shot and like this was how many 13 movies led up to this moment,
like 12 or something.
12 or something like that, right? To just this shot, and getting these two things, and they were like, done.
Yeah.
And
we
even
got
this
it.
just features a handful of dudes that are just in rain jackets. Like, there's him, and then there's her. Like,
that's true.
only a couple of those are actual heroes.
That's not even Paul Rudd in the Ant-Man.
Probably not. I mean, like, half those characters like CGI, but you as a viewer go, yeah, that makes sense. Like, it blows my mind at how fun and easy Marvel's making it look, while DC is struggling to make a Batman movie.
Well, here's the thing, though. Marvel took. You can debate this all you want to, but smaller characters, right?
Sure.
And they just told their stories
Yeah.
with little hints and threads, with the exception of Iron Man 2, which is just Avengers 0.0. Like little hints and threads of other things going on, right? No one cared. People care about Iron Man and Captain America now,
But they didn't
But
before.
no one
No.
cared about that before. They were like almost laughable characters in the Marvel universe.
Which I think is more tipping my hat to them.
Yeah,
'Cause,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
like,
Absolutely.
if you would have told me as a kid, like, you're gonna get superhero movies, I'm like, yes, who's gonna be Iron Man? I go, who?
Who? Yeah.
What?
No,
The guy
exactly.
who just sits in a wheelchair? Or
Well, it's
something? I
because
don't
they
know.
approached it from the viewpoint of let's make these characters likable because they have no built-in audience. We need to make them likable. DC goes, Superman. We've been making money off Superman for 1,000 years. Let's do Superman, Batman.
To that point, I think you could make the argument that it's easier to take a character that nobody knows anything about and no one cares about and elevate them,
True.
as opposed to trying to take such an established,
Yeah.
That's
done
true.
to death character like Superman or Batman and saying, how can we make this feel fresh and good again?
Yeah.
It might be a little bit easier. We think
Yeah, you're right.
agree.
I
That's a good point.
100% agree. Actually, and it's funny you say that because like I guess if you think back, then Nolan had that's a huge job, right? He took
Yeah.
Batman, who was like everybody knew and has been around for like 50, 60 years, and made it an entirely new Batman, like a Batman that we all think of now.
Yeah,
and
well,
which is crazy.
He just took different source material. He just took
that's
year
true.
one and like
well,
he.
so then DC's got plenty of it, right? I mean,
They
like,
should. They should. The problem is Superman's origin story has only been told a couple of ways. It's his end that's been told in 100 different ways.
Yeah,
whether or not he just leaves from space, or whether or not his powers run out.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like weird because Superman has 1,000 endings, but only a couple beginnings. They should have just done fucking Red Sun.
So, yeah,
and
that's
been
the
done with
coolest
it.
iteration of Superman ever.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for DC.
Oh no. Honestly, the answer was a long time ago was to take the characters they were popularizing on television and use those. That's the answer for DC. Honestly, it is.
Yeah.
Arrow, Flash, like those are well-established television shows that are getting ratings and people are still watching.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And
No, I mean, maybe that would translate to film. It's sort of like when you say, this video game is really popular. If we make it into a movie, everyone's going to see it, right?
Well,
and you go,
well, I can guarantee all the people that watch the shows will watch the movie.
I think you mean like because they're using different actors for the Flash and stuff, right?
I'll just tell you this from my perspective. I know who Arrow and Flash are long before I watched the television shows.
Yeah.
And it made me care about them when I watched the television shows. So then I was like, oh, cool. I can't wait to see the Flash in a movie. And I was like, wait a minute. It's some dude I'd never seen before or heard of, and it's an entirely new suit, and he's got new powers, and he's talking to
kinda
Ben
Asian?
Affleck, and he's kind of. I was like, wait, like, it's confusing. I know it's not. I'm not stupid, but it's sort of in a confusing. Like, well, now which one do I want to watch?
well, on the flip side, though, Marvel's also licensing their stuff out to like Netflix.
Right,
And
right.
we may never see Daredevil or Iron Fist or Luke Cage or Jessica Jones
In a movie.
But if they do show up, I would lose my shit.
Yeah,
I'd be
because-
very happy if Daredevil just kind of showed up. I'd be like, cool. Yeah. I'm not crazy about the show, but that's fun.
Well, you're also like cross-populating your universe then and saying if you like the movies, go watch the shows, and if you like the shows, go watch the movies. You're directing, you're clicking out to either media.
I'm saying
Absolutely.
even
you
the
cross-pollinate.
well, even the stuff that is, can be perceived as a mess, like breaking up your, into shows, TV shows, and movies. Marvel's still doing it better than DC, where it's like they didn't. There's not a Daredevil movie and a Daredevil show.
Well, it's because there's all one universe. It's all one universe. Movies, television, whatever else. And which means that I'm sure at some point, Kevin Feige or one of his lackeys got a hold of Daredevil and was like, mention something about the fucking war in New York. And they're like, okay, we'll do it. And then that ties it all together. It's It's masterful. It is a masterful.
Anyway,
Just don't mention the X-Men.
Oh,
Whatever you do.
I'll be seeing Logan March 2nd.
Yeah, don't forget
Me too.
Logan.
I'm super.
Oh, Logan!
super
I forgot about
excited.
Logan.
They're because that's what they're doing. They're just focusing on characters. The best ones of those, Deadpool and Logan, are like. I mean, I'm probably gonna cry at the end of that movie. Because this will be the last time Hugh Jackman's gonna play Wolverine.
Is it?
Yeah, he's the goddamn best cast superhero of all time because he was. When you first saw the first X-Men movie, you're like, who's this asshole playing Wolverine? He
Hello,
sucks.
it's Hugh Jackman. He might not know me. I'd rather
It's
sing
me.
dance.
Wolverine from Canada. But then by the end of it, you're like, yeah, I like this Wolverine. And then from that point on, he's been the best part of every single X-Men movie he's been in. Now we have to say goodbye. Not prepared. Not ready. Not ready for
Not
this.
prepared.
And they're probably going to kill off Professor Xavier.
Oh yeah.
Not ready for this. Not ready for this. I'm going to cry.
Anyway, well,
This is like when Barack Obama left office.
I'm not ready for it.
well, once again,
Don't leave me, Hugh Jackman. Go be president more.
once again, thank you for watching this bi-monthly installment of this wonderful show called Funhaus. Thank you guys for joining me
Yeah, no
today
problem.
and talking movies.
You didn't introduce us.
I like.
He
Yes,
did.
I
He
did.
did.
He did,
He
yeah.
absolutely did.
I totally did.
100%.
You did not by my title.
Pretenders of the crown.
And sorry, Lawrence couldn't be here to talk about John Wick. I know he's going to be very sad, but he's not going to watch this, so who cares?
That's what you get for being sick.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. And you,
Oh, World War Hulk.
Is that fan made?
probably yeah.
Oh, it's fan
Oh
made.
no, Planet Hulk.
Oh,
It's absolutely fan made, but
Ooh.
I was like, oh, in a planet filled with Hulk. Hulk has to fight to become the best Hulk of Planet
Do you
Hulk.
have to do an ad read?
No.
So, as we all know, in Triple X1, he got it on with two ladies. The things I do for my country, referring to their vaginas. Have to up that a little bit. So, just basically like a whole gaggle of women descend on him, fade to black, fade back up. Nice shot over all these women sprawled out on the ground, sexually satisfied. Vin puts on his stupid fur coat, shakes it